Welcome everyone, this is Jonathan Feist for Drone Rush. We're still on the show floor of CES 2020 in Las Vegas. This morning we're super excited. We're heading over to Autel Robotics. The Evo II is out. It comes in 3 different versions. The most affordable version comes with an 8K camera. You heard that right, an 8K camera. We have always been a fan of what Autel has been up to, but let's dive in and see what they've actually got in the Evo II.
Hey everybody, my name is Tim Matthews. I am the creative director with Autel Robotics, and we are super excited to be here at CES 2020, and that is because we are announcing our Evo II. So a couple years ago we announced and started selling our original Evo, and obviously we're Team Orange, so it looks a little similar, but past that the hardware is completely different. So Evo II is 3 different models: the Evo II, the Evo II Pro, and the Evo II Dual. The airframe is exactly the same between all 3 of those different models. Still a foldable design, nice bright and orange, but the biggest thing is that we've added 12 optical sensors all the way around the drone. So now you have 2 on the front, 2 on the top, both sides, the rear, and the bottom. And what that is that those are actual binocular vision sensors, computer vision with machine learning, powered by a dual-core processor that's on board. Obviously it's for obstacle avoidance, but what the really big thing is that the Dynamic Track 2.0. So this is actually going to follow you down below the trees, around trees, small branches, up hills, whatever you want, and at speed as well. We're actually getting about 30 to 40 meters of distance range before it starts to detect things on the front of it. So that's pretty crazy. Up to 40 minutes of flight time now as well, over the 30 on the Evo. So 35 out of hover, start moving forward a little bit, get a little bit better aerodynamics. You can get all the way up to 40. And then also the range has increased, so up to 9 kilometers, a little over 5 miles of range. And obviously not everybody's going to go fly out of visual line of sight, but that gives you a lot better reception up close, you know, around the trees, urban environments, things like that. What everybody's talking about, and we're super excited, is the camera packages. So you have your standard model, which is the Evo II, which is what I'm holding right now, and that is an 8K sensor. So usually you don't hear that the 8K is on the standard, but we're trying to give that entry level into the Evo II as much power and flexibility as possible. Also, if you're a photographer, you're gonna absolutely love this one because it's 48 megapixels. We have huge prints here that are 80 by 60 on fabric, and they look amazing at the booth. You can actually print things over 100 inches wide with this camera alone. The next step up is going to be your Evo II Pro, which is a 1-inch sensor and 6K resolution. So that gives you a larger sensor, more dynamic range, and an adjustable aperture and a little bit higher ISO. So we're super excited about that. Obviously, if you're a cinematographer, pro videographer, and you gotta have that 1-inch sensor, low light performance, things like that, that's the model you're gonna wanna look at. And then lastly, we have the industrial version, which is the dual. So we're not using a low resolution like a lepton sensor or anything like that. We're using the FLIR boson, which is 640 by 512. There's a couple other options in there too that we can put in there, and at 30 hertz refresh rate. Not only does it have the boson sensor, but it has the same 8K sensor that I'm holding here in my hand right next to it. So you have the visual side, high resolution, and the thermal side, high resolution. Records in all 3 different modes at the same time. So you've got the overlay of the thermal on top of the visual. You have the thermal alone and just the visual, and then you can choose all 3 of those in post. So I think we're really putting together a fleet of drones where we have something for everybody, and it's still portable. So you don't have to have another vehicle, you don't have to have 2 operators, something like that. You can go out there and get the job done. And what's crazy is it has interchangeable gimbals by the user. So just a couple screws on the bottom and 1 ribbon cable, and you could swap this out in about 1 minute to 2 minutes, and you're back up in the air. So now you've started with the 8K, oh, I need the 6K, or I'm getting better and I'm starting to get jobs and I want to shoot with the 6K, you can upgrade that. Same thing with the dual. You love drones and now you want to start doing contracting work or use it for search and rescue. You don't have to buy an entire new airframe. You just buy that camera and swap it out yourself, not sending it to us or anything like that. So we're really trying to give you as much flexibility as possible in 1 portable payload. The smaller sensor is the 1/2-inch sensor, which is your 8K, and it really is 48 megapixels inside there. We're using Sony sensors and everything. We're not doing anything magical on that, on like the image processing to get up to 48 megapixels. It's 8,000 by 6,000, and you can tell by the prints as well. So if we were pixel binning or anything like that, to try to get up to there, it'd be pretty noticeable and it wouldn't be sharp at all. And then with the 1-inch sensor, it's a 20 megapixel, pretty standard on there. We just have a lot more processing power in here. A lot of these sensors are capable of doing quite a bit, but once you start putting them into small things like smartphones, small action cameras and stuff like that, you have to worry about heat and processing power. And using that dual core in here, good ventilation, and we have an awesome engineering team to make it as streamlined as possible. Now we're able to unlock those features that the sensors are, and with a much better image processor, you don't have that gate on the backside either before it's recorded to the SD card. We have the live deck, and if you don't know what the live deck is, basically it's a wireless transmission box. So it acts just like another remote. It's not connected to the remote, it's connected directly to the drone. So the drone is sending a signal to the controller and the live deck is what we call it. That right there gives you 3 different outputs, an Ethernet for your computer, micro USB so you can have another app running, and an HDMI output. What's cool is here in the flight cage when we're doing our demos, we have 4 different screens around the cage, and you'll see I can walk around with a controller, no phone attached, and I'm outputting to all these different remotes in CES, which, I think the last time I checked there was 168 other Wi-Fi networks. So it's exactly like your controller network. What's cool is the drone kind of becomes the access point with live deck. So I can have a live deck a mile away in one direction with a lot of people with a large screen monitoring it, and I can have the drone pilot near the drone, or in the opposite direction. It's completely independent of where the controller is. And this works with it as well. We just bound it right up, took like 3 seconds to connect, and we're good to go. Everybody wants to know about the price and the availability on this. We're looking at $14.95 for your standard, which is the 8K, and we're in production right now. So I don't want to set a date on the exact availability, depends on when they get here, but it's incredibly soon. So I know everybody's gonna love the soon word, but we're in production right now. The goal is to get these into customers' hands by the end of January, and stay tuned on our website for more information on that. The 6K with the 1-inch is going to come after that, so once we're done producing the first batch of 8Ks, then we're gonna go roll right into the 1-inch. So hopefully about 6 weeks from now-ish, like right in the middle of February, and we're looking at $17.95 on the price of that one. And then your dual basically comes along with the 8K. We hand assembled all those gimbals here in the US because of ITAR regulations. So just contact us on there, and then we can choose out which thermal package you want, assemble it for you, and get that back out the door. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying the rest of CES. Also, thank you for checking us out. We really appreciate it. The team here has put a ton of work into this, and we really hope that you guys enjoy it, and this helps get you out, back up in the air, and gives you the solutions you guys need.
A big thank you to all the folks at Autel Robotics. Plenty of them helped us out. I had a good chat with them at the show floor. We learned quite a bit about the new drone. We're really excited to see, 8K, 6K with a 1-inch sensor. We're in the next generation of drones already. I'm really excited to see how these things perform in the sky and what comes next. All right, as always, if you're liking what you see here, we do appreciate the thumbs up. And if you're subscribing, please hit that bell icon and make sure to see what comes next. Thanks again all. Fly safe.